Hi, I'm Dean Ho, and this is the Automation Station. Today we have Rob Nail, who is the General Manager of the Automation Solutions Division with Agilent. Glad to have you on the show.
Yeah, thank you very much.
What are some of the leading technologies that we can look forward to from your company?
Well, this is a particularly exciting show for us. We joined Agilent about a year ago now, and despite all of the crazy integration time and everything that we just went through, we were actually able to develop some pretty cool new technologies this year. So we're actually really showcasing two new things. The first one, which I actually think is one of the coolest things you're going to find at the show, is a new robot, literally a new robot that we're using for the interface on all of our key big systems and automation platforms. And the magic of this robot is that it is the first true robot designed and developed for use in a research laboratory application. And that's kind of a big statement. If you look around the space, you'll find a lot of very large industrial scale robotics or some very sort of low-end robots that aren't very functional. What we were shooting for was a robot that really was going to maintain the speed, precision, reliability of the industrial scale robotics that we've continued to use in the past, but then add to that some ease of use features that is completely missing within the space. I mean, most of the robotic technologies that we have out there now are really hard to set up, to test, and just to really get started with a new system. They're very intimidating from that standpoint. So we actually set up a robot that has an easy teach feature, a button literally on the end effector that you can pick up a jig and teach all of the points of the most complex system you can come up with in a few moments. Software runs you through an interface so that you can drive that directly to what those pieces are. And you can literally teach and set up, configure a complete automation system, like one of the most complex ones you'll find in the space, and teach it in a few minutes. And that's a huge piece. One other feature, too, that actually, I don't want to lose this point, it's a direct drive robot. This is a technology that nobody else has used in robotics yet, which basically just means we're using similar servo motors, very high-end type motors, but there's no belts, there's no pulleys within this whole robot. So what that means is it's instantaneous movement from all the motors into action. So that limits the amount of momentum and inertia that will be created within the robotic movements. So essentially, this robot will move instantaneously and stop instantaneously. So it can move at full speed, hit you in the face or in the arm, and stop without hurting you. And we've got guys demoing it today, and they're not taking shots in the face, but we are just demonstrating that literally, if you do the math, I think the robot has like 3,000 times less momentum and force than an industrial scale robot would have at full speed.
That's wonderful. How has your experience with lab automation impacted your ability to dialogue with the broader lab automation community and to really highlight the innovation coming from your organization?
So this is my 10th year at this show. We started Velocity 11. We spun out of a company called Insight Pharmaceuticals in '99. We literally showcased and launched the company at Lab Auto in 2000. So the first year we came was I think it was February 1st of 2000. And at that point, we had a couple little prototypes of products that we had used in the labs at Insight. And we came here and we showcased those. And were instantly put in front of some of the customers that we'd actually talked to while we were demonstrating things at Insight, but also a whole slew of new faces that we hadn't met from big pharma, biotech, academic, government research labs. We came back with a stack of leads, literally, sales leads from this show that we followed up on, and that really started our company. So you just take that 10 years forward, and this show has been a solid launching ground for new products. It's been a great place for us to use as a forum to create sort of connections with our user groups, and it's probably the most well-targeted space for the laboratory automation equipment that we're using.
Wonderful. What are some of the new technologies we can look forward to from your company in 2009?
So 2009 is going to continue to be an interesting year because we are just launching these new technologies. So you're going to see a lot of continued build development on these. The second piece that I had was the software platform that we've relaunched. It's called vWorks. It's the core process control software that we've developed over the last 10 years. We've completely re-architected it to be way more flexible, much more scalable, a lot of new feature sets. So we'll have several new releases on that software this year that's going to continue to build on the momentum of this launch based on all of the customer feedback that we've been getting on it for the last couple of years. Probably the other, maybe more interesting thing from my standpoint is now that we're part of Agilent, Agilent is the measurement company. That's their tagline, right? Agilent comes from the roots of HP, or Hewlett-Packard, and for 80 years has been leading the charge on developing measurement technologies. That's something that is pretty much missing within this space. If you go to semiconductor space, you find incredible robotics technology, largely because it's used in production level scenarios. They have to have complete feedback and sensing technologies. When it's used in a research lab, it doesn't always get the type of investment behind the type of technology that is out there that could be used. So now as part of Agilent, the measurement company, we're looking to sort of leverage a lot of the know-how and core technologies that they've developed and bring it into this space. And that also comes to one of the big initiatives I have this year, which is a real quality initiative. So we spearheaded at the end of last year at our user group meeting a real quality initiative to bring together a forum of our key users and start a real dialogue about defining what the true metrics of automation, productivity, efficiency, and reliability are for this space. Nobody's ever done that before. Nobody's really taken a hard look at what are the true metrics of value for automation for research. There's plenty of mean time between failure calculations for production labs, but in a lab where you're going to change the experiment consistently every day, every week, whatever it is, it's a completely different paradigm. So now as Agilent, the measurement company, I believe we're in the perfect position to really redefine what those standards for measurement of automation technology should be.
Wonderful. What are some of the key broader trends you see happening for the lab automation community?
So I think there's going to be a constant shift to constant push towards smaller and smaller volumes and manipulation of fluids. Obviously, it's all driven by cost. Some of the things I'm excited about for us are sort of back to the sort of bigger targeted core issues with regard to automation and what the real value is going to be at the customer lab. Customers are really trying to improve productivity within their laboratory site. And a lot of times they don't know how to use the equipment. The reliability is an issue, uptime is an issue, and until they have really core understanding of what the factors are that are driving that productivity, they're not going to get where they want to go. So, I feel like one of the initiatives we're taking on is to help educate a lot of customers, and doing that, in a lot of cases they educate us too, because they're using equipment in ways that we would have never expected. But at the same time, we're supposed to be the expert, so we're going to continue to push that forward. So on that measurement side, I brought a little product demo I wanted to show you. I don't know if you guys have seen these little, this is just a little digital, this is a high definition video camera, right? Camera imaging technologies have gotten very, very cheap. The CCD technology, it's extremely cheap and very functional, and largely it's based on the capabilities of software and just where we've gotten in the world of software. So taking the cheap optics and cheap algorithms for doing imaging, I really believe that we're going to help drive this, but we're going to see a lot of new technologies that are going to integrate optics, visualization, imaging into automation to help close that feedback loop and really improve productivity. One great example is, I think over the last year or so, a lot of the core barcode reading technology that we've had, at supermarkets and everywhere for years and years. Every microtiter plate that we use has a barcode, a standard barcode on the side, and you have to kind of run it by that laser beam for a few times before you get it to read just right. That's going away, because now we have extremely cheap CCD optics and imaging capability with software algorithms that can just instantly recognize regular barcodes, 2D barcodes, just about anything in any orientation instantly. So that type of capability is going to allow us to do some very creative things with regard to feedback within automation system. So I'm really excited about where that might help take us.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us on the show. We really appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Great. Thank you very much.